Hey, this is Chris with Your High School Sports, and you know this is my favorite time of the game. Just before the game, we love to do a little tailgating, get out in front of the crowd, and give away some of these. Oh, you got to look at them. Oh, so nice. Those football donuts. And right beside of me, I have found Amy, and Amy said she wants to do our Krispy Kreme Scream Challenge. But first, I got to get her into character here, and if you don't mind, Amy, putting that on. That's your little Krispy Kreme hat to get you motivated. All right, so here's the deal. I understand that you have a cheerleader. That's your daughter, right?
Yep.
What's her name?
Kimmy.
All right, Kimmy. Amy, your daughter Kimmy, can you give me your best Krispy Kreme scream? All right, here we go. We're going to count her down. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, Kimmy! Woo!
I think that was pretty good. But yeah, they like it. Okay. So what Amy has won, she has won these box of delicious Krispy Kreme football donuts. So Amy, go ahead. You can go ahead and grab one. You want to eat one on camera? Tell us what you think about it.
He's the son of Liz Messick.
Is it good?
Works hard in and out of the classroom to better himself.
All right.
He's a member
Once
of the
again, the Krispy Kreme Scream
Club,
Challenge. She did it. So go. Well, I got to actually root for both teams, but I'm going to let you root for who you want to root for. What team you root for?
I'm for both teams tonight. I've got one on each side.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, we're neutral here. Anyway, we'll be right back with tonight's game.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Thanks, Amy Jo. Go Kiwi! Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme.
Your High School Sports and Krispy Kreme Donuts present the Sevier County Game of the Week. Brought to you in part by Sevier County Electric System, Claybo's Express Shine Car Wash, Five Oaks Tires, and Buddy's Barbecue. And now, here's your commentator tonight, Jake Nichols with Your High School Sports.
Hello, I'm Jake Nichols for Your High School Sports, welcoming you to the Your High School Sports Game of the Week here at Pigeon Forge High School, Jim Whaley Field, as the Tigers get set to take on the Gatlinburg Pittman Highlanders. Pigeon Forge coming in at 0-5 on the season, looking for their first win in this matchup, but it'll be very tough against a very talented Gatlinburg Pittman roster. The Highlanders 6-0 on the season so far, so it should be a fantastic matchup tonight from Jim Whaley Field in Pigeon Forge. We'll be right back with kickoff here on Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
Take your foot off the gas and enjoy the ride. See the soap suds fly in the
Tires, carrying top name brands Michelin Tires and BF Goodwrench Tires. Visit 5oakstire.com. Located on 1425 Parkway, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or call 5 Oaks Tires at 865-453-3469.
We welcome you back to Jim Whaley Field as Pigeon Forge gets set to tee it up against Gatlinburg Pittman. Antonio Sanchez getting ready to kick it off. Back to receive for Gatlinburg Pittman is Bryce Akey and number 6, Jaden Schrober. Sanchez probably going to try to kick it away from Akey as we get going, considering what a playmaker he is. A great environment here at Pigeon Forge. And we are off. The Tigers go with the onside kick. And it looks like Gatlinburg Pittman will receive Mikey Cockrell, grabbing the onside kick there early from the Tigers. And here comes Gatlinburg Pittman. Not the type of field position you want to give them early on. Setting up at the Pigeon Forge 47. Here's Schultz in the shotgun. Four-man front for Pigeon Forge. Akey, left side. Gets a couple, but a great tackle there made early on by Sean Woodruff for Pigeon Forge. Definitely the type of heads-up play you want to see all night long from the Tiger defense. Brings up 2nd down and 8. Ball on the 45-yard line here. 11:28 set to go in the first quarter. Schultz alone in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to his left. Lopez comes across the formation, tries to go out to the right and brought down again. Another big tackle there for Pigeon Forge in the field. This time by B.B. Parton, the linebacker who also plays a little bit of running back for the Tigers. And despite a risky call by their head coach early on, Adrian Watson, for that onside kick, the Tigers making a quick stand here early on. 3rd and 10 for GP. Schultz throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. Schultz trying to find Schroeder on the play. And instead, Gatlinburg Pittman set up in no man's land here. Too far to kick a field goal, but also not quite where you want to punt from either, and they'll go forward on 4th and 10. Schultz in the shotgun, Akey to his right. Got an H-back as Schultz rolls right, fires, and it is broken up. A fantastic play there early for the Tiger defense, and what a stand. And some early momentum here for Pigeon Forge. Leading the Tigers out on offense, it'll be Mason Schultz at quarterback. Speaking to Gatlinburg Pittman head coach Derek Rang, no apparent relation between JD and Mason Schultz, the Gatlinburg Pittman quarterback, as he hands off, or tosses, to the right. And Parton fumbles in the backfield before recovering. A little bit of laundry on the play. So not the kind of start you want here on offense for Pigeon Forge, despite a strong stand for that defense. And it'll be on Pigeon Forge. But also on Gatlinburg Pittman. Those should offset. And Pigeon Forge now looks to try to move the football against a hefty Gatlinburg Pittman defense. With both of these teams, a lot of guys playing both ways. So look for that to possibly play a factor tonight, but still plenty of depth on both sidelines as we get going. Here's Schultz in the shotgun, Parton behind him. Or actually, setting up in the I formation, excuse me. Schultz fumbles the snap. And Pigeon Forge recovers once more. So 2 straight fumbles there for Pigeon Forge to get things started. And the Tigers now set up with a 3rd and 17 with under 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. So again, a great defensive stand there for Pigeon Forge early on, but you've got to capitalize on that and not try to give the football away as they've been doing thus far. Lined up in front of Parton as Schultz drops back, looks deep right side, and it is caught down to the 15-yard line. Hussein Al-Satani, the junior, comes up with a big catch inside the 20-yard line, and Pigeon Forge has got something to work with. Good touchdown saving tackle there by Jaden Schroeder for Gatlinburg Pittman. But what a turn there for the Tiger offense. 2 straight fumbles, and on 3rd and 17, Schultz unleashes a bomb to Al-Satsani for a big Pigeon Forge first down. Tigers now lining up in a split eye. Handoff up the middle as Maples takes it from the fullback spot, and he's tackled by Ferguson. 5-yard gain there for Maples. Brings up 2nd and 5. First trip inside the red zone on the day for either team. As we close toward the 8-minute mark of the first quarter, here's Schultz in the shotgun this time. Or, excuse me, again, the split eye, 2 wide receivers to the right. H-back to the left as well, as he hands off up the middle. And Parton dropped for a loss of maybe 2 on the play. A great rush there by the Gatlinburg Pittman defensive line. And with the way Schultz can toss it, if you're Adrian if you are Adrian Watson here, the Tigers' first-year head coach, you might want to look to throw maybe a corner route, some kind of play action to draw that Gatlinburg Pittman defense in once more the way they've been running it. Here's Schultz. And it'll be a delay of game called on the Tigers, but not quite, as they take a timeout. And we will take it with them. 7:11 to go here in the first quarter, and Pigeon Forge in the red zone deep against Gatlinburg Pittman. We'll be right back for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
We welcome you back to Jim Whaley Field as Gatlinburg Pittman looks to make a stand against Pigeon Forge. Schultz lofts it deep, and it is incomplete. But looks to be maybe a pass interference on the call. There was a flag deep in the left corner of the end zone.
Pass interference against the Highlanders. First and goal, Tigers.
Pigeon Forge ball now at the 5-yard line of Gatlinburg Pittman. A huge momentum swing here early on if the Tigers are able to punch it in. Schultz in the eye. Pushes ahead. And Maples might get a couple on the play. And you can really see early on what Pigeon Forge is trying to do. Really run that bread and butter with Brady Maples up the middle, letting him carry the load along with B.B. Parton at running back. Not often that you even see the I formation these days, but the Tigers certainly bringing it back, and a little bit of success here with it so far. Schultz in the eye once more under center. He'll rush it up the middle, pushing ahead for maybe one. And a good stand there by the Highlander defense. Kevin Burkett in on the tackle for Gatlinburg Pittman as Brady Maples heads back in. 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Time ticking down. 2nd and 4 for Pigeon Forge. Here's Schultz under center. Maples and Parton behind him, a wide receiver to each side. Hands off to Parton. Parton skirts up the middle. And a gain of maybe one on the play. And just as that Pigeon Forge defense able to make a stand on that first Gatlinburg Pittman drive, the Highlanders defense now coming up big, and Pigeon Forge facing a 3rd and 4 with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Sean Woodruff now coming in for the Tigers at wide receiver. He's a little bit bigger bodied, maybe trying to pound it again as Schultz lines up under center. Parton alone in the backfield now. Motion to the right. And a great tackle there on Caleb Hughes, who's brought down for a loss on the play. And a great stand there by the Gatlinburg Pittman defense. Pigeon Forge now facing 4th down at the 5-yard line. And a big decision here early on for Adrian Watson. If you're able to punch it in, a big momentum clincher against a very talented Gatlinburg Pittman team. and they will go for it. Here's Schultz in the eye. 2 wide receivers to the right. Looks, fires over the middle, and it is incomplete. Schultz looking for Bryce Effler, the sophomore wide receiver on the play. But instead, Gatlinburg Pittman will take over. And it'll be up to J.D. Schultz and tailback Bryce Akey to get them out of it. But for right now, we will head to a timeout. Your score tied as Gatlinburg Pittman will take over on downs. 4:01 left to go in the first quarter. You're watching the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. And we are back at Pigeon Forge High School amidst the lights of the Ferris wheel and the tourist attractions behind us. Set in here at Jim Whaley Field as Gatlinburg Pittman takes over inside its own 5. Akey up the middle. Bryce Akey at the 20 and brought down at the 24-yard line by Bryce Effler. And an electric run there already for Bryce Akey. Earlier this season, we featured him in the Your High School Sports magazine after their game against Northview, and for good reason. Akey averaging around 4 touchdowns per game through the start of this season. Such a talented back, and he showed why right there. He's got the speed to shoot through the hole and make guys miss as he takes another handoff, making 2-3 guys miss down to the 38-yard line. And a good stop there by Noah Dyer for the Tigers. Talking to Derek Rang after the Highlanders game against Northview, he talked about Akey's size and that it really doesn't make a difference for him. He's very deceptive. He's very fast, not just for his size, but for anyone around the area, but also very elusive. He can shift easily, and as soon as you blink, he's gone down the sideline, and he's shown it already, shooting through those gaps in the Tigers' defensive line. Coming across the formation, Schultz looks, throws deep right side, and it is caught down the sideline. 20-10, touchdown Gatlinburg Pittman. Ethan Estabrook hauls it in for the catch and the score. From 62 yards out, the Highlanders punch it in to get on the board. 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. And what a play there for the Highlanders, setting up slowly with Akey's running ability and then launching it with Schultz connecting to Estabrook down the sideline. And Schultz showing the Highlanders playmaking ability all across the field as they've got running backs galore, but also able to throw it deep. Hands off to Akey. And they'll call him in for the 2-point conversion. That'll actually be Reagan on the carry. And Gatlinburg Pittman takes an 8-0 lead. Possibly a controversial call there for Reagan, but nevertheless, the Highlanders taking an early 8-0 lead here. 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. Pigeon Forge to get the ball back when we return. You're watching the Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
Five Oaks Tires, carrying top name brands Michelin Tires and BF Goodwrench Tires. Visit 5oakstire.com. Located on 1425 Parkway, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or call 5 Oaks Tires at 865-453-3469.
We welcome you back to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Gatlinburg Pittman setting up to kick off after a 3-play, 95-yard drive for an early score here against Pigeon Forge. The Highlanders stuffed by the Tiger defense on their first drive, but certainly made the most of that last one after Pigeon Forge was unable to capitalize on their field position. The kick, and the Tigers will take it from the 2. Returned out to the 25, maybe 30-yard line. And the return there by Al-Satani sets Pigeon Forge up in good field position at their own 30. Again, Mason Schultz heads out to lead this Tiger offense, which relied on that power eye through their first drive. They'll do it again here, Parton alone in the backfield. Motion to the left as Effler is tracked down in the backfield. That'll mark a 4-yard, actually a 7-yard loss there for the Highlanders. And an official timeout for a possible injury early on. And while they tend to the injured Tiger, we will take a quick break. Your score, 8-0 Gatlinburg Pittman, 2:16 left to go in the first quarter.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
2nd and 23 now for Pigeon Forge. A long way from the end zone that they were just 5 yards away from just one drive ago as Schultz. It's recovered in the end zone for a Gatlinburg Pittman touchdown. Reagan recovers and moves into the end zone for the score. And a heads-up play there by Connor Reagan to pick up the fumble and skirt into the end zone for the touchdown. And a nightmare here early on for Pigeon Forge. That's 3 fumbles so far for the Tigers offense, 2 of which they recovered, and 1 very costly as Connor Reagan strolled into the end zone for the touchdown. The PAT good. And now all of a sudden, what was an 8-0 lead for Gatlinburg Pittman has suddenly transformed into a 15-0 deficit for Pigeon Forge, with momentum heavily on the Highlanders' side. We'll be right back here on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want 1 or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
We welcome you back to Pigeon Forge High School Jim Whaley Field, as Gatlinburg Pittman gets set to kick off, holding a 15-0 lead after a Pigeon Forge fumble recovered by Connor Reagan, who sprinted about 5 yards into the end zone for a Gatlinburg Pittman touchdown. Kick goes into the end zone, and the Tigers will take it at their own 20.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize the 10-year reunion for the 2009 graduating class of Pigeon Forge High School.
So what once could have been a 7-0 lead for Pigeon Forge after a stalled out drive inside the 10 and a successful drive for Gatlinburg Pittman followed by that fumble recovery has suddenly transformed into an early deficit here for the Tigers with just over a minute remaining in the first quarter. Here's Schultz under center. Hands off to Parton. Parton up the middle. Parton at the 35 down to the 40, maybe 41-yard line. And that'll be Al-Satani on the carry for Pigeon Forge. Trying to shake things up a bit early on here on offense. He'll line up at running back once more. They'll go to him again. 35. Fumble on the play. Al-Satani fumbles and Gatlinburg Pittman gets it back. Rodrigo Flores on the recovery for the Highlanders, and the fourth fumble in the first quarter here for Pigeon Forge. So for a moment there, it looked like Al-Satani might have been the answer at running back, but instead, on that second play of the drive, coughed up the football at the 45, and now the Highlanders with a chance to take a 3-score lead. Here's J.D. Schultz in the shotgun, tailback to each side, 2 wide receivers to the right. 1:21 remaining in the first quarter, and a 15-0 lead for Gatlinburg Pittman. Schultz waiting on the call now. And here we go. Pigeon Forge looking to bring a 3-man front, maybe a linebacker on the blitz as Schultz looks. Fires deep over the middle, and it is caught for another Highlander touchdown. And Ethan Stinnett with the catch. Ethan Estabrook with the Highlanders' second touchdown. And Stinnett with the third. Estabrook actually with the first on the pass from Schultz earlier in the game. And then, of course, Reagan with that fumble recovery for the second. So Schultz going to the Ethans early on, trying to stretch out that passing game. And it has worked perfectly so far. 22-0 for Gatlinburg Pittman on a one-play, 45-yard drive. 1:12 left to go here in the first quarter. GP leading 22-0 on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. We welcome you back to Pigeon Forge High School as the Highlanders go for the onside kick. And they will get it back. Actually looks like there's a bit of a scrum on the play. Waiting to see who has possession. possibly saying the kick did not go 10 yards. And I believe that's the correct call. Probably going to go for a re-kick here. GP holding a 22-0 lead off of a hookup from J.D. Schultz to Ethan Estabrook, as well as one to Ethan Stinnett, and in between a fumble recovery for a touchdown from Connor Reagan. And actually Gatlinburg Pittman will retain possession after the onside kick. Ball at their own 49-yard line. Pigeon Forge with Schultz under center. Tosses right side, Al-Satani. And he gets back maybe to the 50. Solid tackle by Cockrell there for Gatlinburg Pittman. I apologize. I guess the double names on both sides are starting to get to me a little bit. But what a change of events here as we near the end of the first quarter. With 5 minutes left to go, it was tied at 0. And now the Highlanders up by 3 scores. As Al-Satani gets up to the 46, moving it into Highlander territory. And the tackle made there by Saban Moore for Gatlinburg Pittman. Moore, the big 6'4", 257-pound junior on the defensive line for Gatlinburg Pittman. As we head to the end of the first quarter, your score, Gatlinburg Pittman 22, Pigeon Forge nothing, and the Tigers looking to rebound here quickly. We'll be right back with the game of the week here on Your High School Sports.
Five Oaks Tires, carrying top name brands Michelin Tires and BF Goodwrench Tires. Visit 5oakstire.com. Located on 1425 Parkway, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or call 5 Oaks Tires at 865-453-3469.
We welcome you back to Pigeon Forge High School. The Highlanders' 22-0 lead stalled out early on in this game, but have since put the pedal to the metal as Pigeon Forge lines up under center. Schultz rolls left, fires, got a man down the sideline at the 30, 25, and down inside the red zone. As Braden Maples, primarily a fullback in that Tiger offense, goes out into the flat and turns it into a big gain for another red zone trip for Pigeon Forge. We'll see how they do in making the most of this one as Gatlinburg Pittman shut down the Tigers' first trip inside the 10, now set up at the 18. Schultz under center. Maples right behind him. And Parton at tailback as Maples skirts around the right end. And he won't get much. And in that scenario, if you're Brady Maples, I understand what he was trying to do, but you've got to just try to take your lumps and plunge up the middle there as a fullback instead of trying to go around the right side. Looked to be a little less than productive on the play. Now a little laundry on the field. Another flag this evening. Referees converging at the 20-yard line, discussing the call. Waiting to see what it is. Seems like they're having a difficult time coming up with this one. And before we get too far into this one, special thank you to Chris Reddick, our producer, for always helping out, as well as our lovely sponsors, Buddy's Barbecue and Krispy Kreme Donuts, the supreme among them, as it'll be a personal foul on Gatlinburg Pittman. Tigers now lining up at the 10-yard line. We'll see how they do with this one. 1st and 10 from the 10. As Schultz heads under center once more. Maples and Parton right behind him. Drops back, looks left side, fires, and caught. Hussein Al-Satani goes up and gets it. Touchdown, Pigeon Forge. And the Tigers draw within 16. We'll see if they can pull it to 15 or 14 with the PAT. But a major catch there by Al-Satani. And what a throw by Mason Schultz as well. Just tossed it up and let the big man go up and get it. Or excuse me, Hood comes out for the PAT, and it's good. And with that score, Pigeon Forge now within 15, 22-7 Gatlinburg Pittman, 10:57 left to go in the half. But the Pigeon Forge Tigers with a little bit of life. We'll be right back on the Game of the Week for your high school sports.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
And we are back here at Pigeon Forge with the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. Sanchez getting ready to kick it off. Pigeon Forge looking for its first win of the season, 0-5 so far. Came a little bit closer there with that catch for Al-Satani. As the Highlanders return it past the 30, but a gang tackle there for Pigeon Forge. The return from Jaden Schober for Gatlinburg Pittman. And a big tackle there for Al-Satani. Made the touchdown catch, but also coming up big on special teams. And you can even see him over there on defense as well. Lining up at cornerback for the Tigers. J.D. Schultz in the shotgun here for Gatlinburg Pittman as they set up from the 33. Looks over the middle to the 50 and across the 50-yard line. Estabrook pushes ahead into Tiger territory, and a beautiful screenplay there for Gatlinburg Pittman as Schultz is in the shotgun. Handoff up the middle, Akey to the 35-yard line. And a rare carry so far on the night for Bryce Akey, but certainly making it count. Off passes from Schultz to Ethan Estabrook and Stinnett, respectively, as Schultz looks over the middle once more. Got a man at the 20. Down to the 15-yard line. And another first down for Gatlinburg Pittman. Akey behind him. Akey up the middle to the 10. And stopped short, actually, at about the 11-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 6 here. Just under 9 minutes remaining in the half. Here's Schultz. Looks. Left side. And it is caught for another Highlander touchdown. And Ethan Stinnett with his second scoring grab on the day. So J.D. Schultz hooking up with Estabrook once for a score and Stinnett twice. Highlanders going to go for 2 here. Schultz under center. He'll hand off, and Akey waltzes in with ease. And a 2-point conversion good there for Gatlinburg. Pittman now leading 30-7 with 8:34 remaining in the half. We'll see if Pigeon Forge will respond again, but for now, the Tigers trail by 23. We'll be right back on your high school sports game of the week.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
Welcome back to Pigeon Forge High School. Gatlinburg Pittman now with a 30-7 lead after another hookup between J.D. Schultz and Ethan Stinnett for a Highlander touchdown, followed by a successful 2-point conversion. The Highlanders 3 touchdowns on the night, coming off passes, with one as a defensive score from Connor Reagan. Touchback on the play, and the Tigers will take it from their own 20.
There's a flag on the play.
A flag on the play, and we will wait to see what the call is. GP leads by 23 right now, 8:34 to go in the second quarter. And it'll be a personal foul against Pigeon Forge, and not what you need here for the Tigers, trying to get something else going on offense. First successful drive of the game a few minutes ago, capped off by a touchdown to Al-Satani in the back corner of the end zone, but Gatlinburg Pittman was quick to respond. Now the Tigers look to even things up. Set back at their own 10. 90 yards from Pater is where Mason Schultz will step under center. Schultz hands off to the right. And stuffed quickly is Al-Satani for maybe a 2-3 yard loss on the play. Stop for Cockrell on the play for Gatlinburg Pittman. And save for that one Pigeon Forge drive, the Gatlinburg Pittman defense playing lights out here so far. Schultz heading back in with the call. And the Tigers head to the line. Whistle before the snap as Al-Satani was trying to go up the middle. Actually, that'll be B.B. Parton on the carry, but it won't count anyway as a timeout was called prior to the snap. Gatlinburg Pittman leading 30-7 here, 7:38 left to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back here on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. We welcome you back to Pigeon Forge High School. The Tigers set back at their own 10-yard line. Schultz tries to throw and sacked behind the line as the Highlanders get into the backfield. Led by Akey on the blitz. And Akey with the sack. Bryce Akey so far this year got 18 rushing touchdowns coming into this game, but also 20 tackles with 5 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. So that'll be Akey's 5th sack on the year, 6th tackle for loss. And an incredible effort here by Bryce Akey to not only push the Highlanders ahead on offense, but also make an impact in the backfield as well on defense. As Schultz looks left side, fires, and almost hauled in by Al-Satani, but it's incomplete. Good coverage there by Jaden Schrober for the Highlanders defense, along with Ethan Stinnett. Stinnett with those 2 touchdown grabs so far tonight. We mentioned earlier in the matchup that a lot of these guys were going to be playing both ways all night long, and that's what we've seen so far. Pigeon Forge backed up against its own end zone, 4th and 16. And Gatlinburg Pittman set to receive. It'll be Stinnett back. They'll let it roll out, maybe to the 37. And that is where Gatlinburg Pittman will take over. Highlanders left with 6:28 left on the clock. 37 yards to go for the end zone. But based on the way they've been playing so far with this offense, should be no trouble to punch it in before the half. Tigers need a big stand here on defense as Schultz comes out in the shotgun with Connor Reagan to his left. Schultz rolls left side, looks deep. And it is caught for yet another Gatlinburg Pittman touchdown. Houston Bird. Jaden Schrober with the catch. And another score for Gatlinburg Pittman. And right before that play, as I mentioned, that it wouldn't take them very long to go that far, and it did not. 37 yards, on the pass from Schultz to Schrober. And the kick from Flynn good. Now an even bigger lead for Gatlinburg Pittman. 36-7, 6:17 left to go in the half. 37-7 now after they've updated the scoreboard. And we will be right back on Your High School Sports. Gatlinburg Pittman up by 30.
Oaks Tires, carrying top name brands Michelin Tires and BF Goodwrench Tires. Visit 5oakstire.com. Located on 1425 Parkway, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or call 5 Oaks Tires at 865-453-3469.
We welcome you back to Pigeon Forge. Gatlinburg Pittman getting set to kick off after yet another touchdown for the Highlanders. This one to Jaden Schroeder, his first touchdown catch on the night. And the fourth toss to the end zone for J.D. Schultz so far this evening. So Gatlinburg Pittman relying heavily on its passing game so far and really exploiting the Pigeon Forge secondary. And Bryce Akey, as often as he's been a workhorse for the Gatlinburg Pittman offense this season, has had a relatively quiet game, maybe trying to keep him rested up for the remainder of this schedule. Schultz leading out the Tiger offense, lining up at the 20. In the eye once more. Hands off up the middle. And snuffed out quickly as Parton maybe lost a couple. Good stop there by Bo Rowland for Gatlinburg Pittman, the big defensive lineman. Rowland just jumping out off of this Gatlinburg Pittman roster. 6'5", 285 is what the senior is listed as. Just a monster for that Gatlinburg Pittman defense. And Rowland also making a catch or two on the offensive side as well at the tight end spot. Pigeon Forge facing 2nd and 11. Wide receiver coming near side. And probably another false start here on the Tigers. Actually a delay of game call. 5:17 left to go in the half. And in Adrian Watson's first season at the helm, you have to imagine that 0-5 and this many penalties early on in the first half against a team like Gatlinburg Pittman was not what he had in mind. Nevertheless, Schultz at the line, and he'll give up the middle. Not much on the play. As Caleb Barnes gets a couple. Now 3rd and 16 for Pigeon Forge. Maples heading back in with the call. Schultz.